Picture this. You find yourself bloodied and passed out on a park bench, not knowing where you are. What do?
Same thing I do almost every Saturday morning.
Check this out. Welcome everyone, and in case you missed the thumbnail, we watched the 2024 comedy drama Sweet Dreams, a movie in which Johnny Knoxville stars as Morris, a man forced into rehab and struggles to confront the wreckage of his life, all while finding himself in a situation in where he must step up to be the coach of his rehab softball team in order to save the house from being sold at auction. I'm your host for this episode of Trees in Space, Nate, and with me, as always, is Jason. Jason, what was your initial thought when you saw this movie come up?
It says it's a comedy drama. I think it laughed like once or twice. It's definitely a drama.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lighthearted drama.
It was. I think I do not know the name of the Asian gentleman, but I see him all the time in the podcast.
Bobby Lee, yes.
Sometimes you find someone else to play a part, because I did not appreciate his interpretation of his character, if you will, because I don't think he can act.
Okay. Wipe the blood off your face. Put your cloak on. Yeah, tie it at the waist. Great, and cut.
And I'm saying that because I thought everyone else in the film did a superb job of acting and making me believe they were who they were, except him.
Interesting. I actually enjoyed Bobby Lee in this role.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is because, and I don't know if this is new news to you or any of our viewers, but the cast were all actual people within the program. All those actors are suffering from some sort of addiction. So,
well, I think that goes with 90% of Hollywood. So, woo!
Valid. But knowing that Bobby Lee is within the program and he's been sober for however many years and all that, like, it made sense to me to be able to be like, oh, he probably knows somebody that was that guy in the rehab center.
Well, that's fair. To me, it looked like he was. Okay, it's gonna sound bad. I can't explain this any better in my head. He looked like he was acting. I don't want to see a movie. He was acting, obviously, but it looked like he was acting. You see these shorts on TikTok that are staged, and like, oh, that's staged because of the bad performances. That's where I got it. Like, this looks like one of his skits. Too much? What?
Oh, so you were calling like a Mad TV type of thing.
Yes, that's right. And the guy that he does it with, I mean, he has his own podcast. He's funny. He was the guy who shared the room with Knoxville.
White
dude.
The
I don't know his name either.
Oh my God, I know his name.
And we just seen him in a different movie not too long ago too. But anyways, see, I knew who he was. I believed his character. I thought he did a fine job. I don't think he was like, overly wonderful at the job, but they're not actors in rehab. They're not supposed to be. But I think my favorite part is when he meets up with his sponsor, Jay Moore. Jay. He was a pretty big actor back in the 90s. Early. Who?
Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn, yes. But my favorite part is when Knox meets up, gets the guy who he asked him to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
That's Jay Moore, I believe is his name. He was a comedian back in the day. He's played in plenty of movies. He's a lot chubbier now.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think their relationship is my favorite thing about the movie. So
I was really hoping for a Bad News Bears type of situation with this movie.
I was expecting it to be. I don't understand the whole. Oh, I got a problem with the whole baseball thing. But go ahead.
They started off kind of bad, real bad actually, and then they managed to bring in females from another rehab house. Mm-hmm. So, like, okay, you start getting yourself a team, Okay, well, Theo Vaughn was one of their best hitters and people on the field. Where was he in the championship game?
Well, see, I had a question about that too. I know where he was. Would y'all know where he was?
Where was he?
He graduated from the
Oh,
high
did he?
school. Did you see him drive away in the car with those girls in the car, and Knoxville's looking out the window saying something about him as he's driving out with those girls? He graduated the course.
Oh, was that him?
That was him. I'm saying that now just because I have to believe that's what happened because nothing else makes sense.
And then, okay, so I am fairly certain we watched the same version of this movie. There was a horrible edit scene when dude is out there smoking his crack pipe and Knoxville walks out and it's just like a complete cut. Like they don't show that little part.
What dude was smoking his crack pipe?
The one that popped hot.
Yep. Sir. Weird is coming up hot for opiates.
Yep.
I ate a poppy seed bagel the other day.
Oh,
He
I
got
must have
kicked
turned my head for a second to get a water because I don't remember seeing him smoking his crack pipe.
Yeah, so
He said
Knoxville,
he said that he did some poppy seeds or whatever, and then
well, no, this is still your things. Okay, so Knoxville gets woken up because Theo Vaughn is humping the mattress.
yes,
So Knoxville walks out, or Morris walks out, and he observes out in the window area somebody lighting up.
is that what that was?
Yeah, I think
I
he
did
was
see
doing. I think he was doing crack. So
A horse.
Knoxville, but then once he comes out, it just cuts, and it has no reference of the paraphernalia in which he was smoking or whatever, and then it jumps to the scene where some dude jumps in the car or in the convertible with those chicks and then drives
Yeah,
off.
that was a very confusing cut there because I was like, "Where's this coming
Yeah.
from?" They don't explain it whatsoever. They have this one guy. I'm assuming the first guy you meet who's leaving, who graduates when Knoxville's coming in, and they say that so and so OD'd and died. I'm assuming that's who that was. And they're like, "Oh my God, he died." When they're at the bus, the bus broke down. They say so and so died.
Yeah.
See, I'm assuming it was that first guy, but we didn't associate with him. So why do we care? It didn't hurt our feelings. They should have done that with Theo's character. He graduated, left, and then at the baseball game, they find out he passes or something. And here's my problem with the baseball game: $10,000 for the winner. There's 4 teams.
80,000.
Or whatever it was. There's 4 teams. There was 4 teams. I mean, don't say so. They only showed the 4 teams. Look at the bracket. They have a picture of the bracket. The bracket shows 4 teams. Come on, fuckers.
I mean, sounds like we need to live in that fairy book.
We need to go there and do it because, and I felt now. This movie seemed to triggered a little bit into my partner over there, Myope. He found it a certain way.
I'm not gonna lie, I cried. This movie made me cry.
And I'm like, why? Because the relationship with his daughter, the end where the daughter comes. I don't care. I'm going to ruin it for y'all because I swear to God, you don't want to waste 90 minutes of your life watching this film.
All he wants to do is hear from his kid. Just hear his kid. That's it. He just wants to hear her voice. And like when she called him, and she's like, "Okay, well, mommy doesn't know that I'm calling you. I gotta go so I don't get in trouble." I was like, I might start crying. Just reenact. I was like, oh my God, that's just got to be so good, like you just to hear your kid's voice when you don't think you're ever going to hear it again. Like
Nate has trauma, everyone.
And then when they're at the game and all of a sudden you hear daddy or whatever, or go daddy, I was like, oh my God, they just got me. I was like, they brought the kid and there's mom, like his mother, not the mother of child. And I was like, oh my God, this is so freaking perfect. Like, and he froze up. He forgot what, like, his focus was just on that child and the fact that she was there. Like, God, it just wrenched my heart so hard. Like, it was so beautiful. All of it. It was just, oh my God, so good.
I appreciate the beginning, like you mentioned, how he was on the bench. He said he gets to call his daughter, asking that lady for her phone, please. And they say, see, he's with his mother, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? You're gonna lose your daughter. You keep doing this. And he goes into the rehab thing, and I thought I thought that stuff was great. I understand it was like a shaky cam. I'm not sure why I didn't like the shaky cam. It looked like my next door neighbor did the film. But then the baseball thing, he has to do there 30 days before he gets level 2, but gets level 2 in 20 days because he played a baseball game. It was too broken up for me to really get
They definitely rushed his privileges, but I'm just kind of assuming it was for time.
Well, they rushed the whole thing, I think.
Yeah.
I was more taken back when he went into that place and said, I'm the guy with the purple pants. I'm the one who wrecked your... Yes. And I was like, oh. And then the dude comes out and he goes like, my sponsor said I should make amends if I can. And then that dude who owned the place holds up his. I was like, okay, that one got me. I was like,
Same.
That was a really good spot.
And I thought it was so great when he was calling his sponsor to tell him what happened, and then he's like, "You there?"
Yeah, and he calls
it back, and he's like, "So good." Like, it was just. I liked how it was real. Like,
it
all of it
real.
felt like it really happened. Like, it's based on a true story. Like, it to me felt so genuine.
Well, I mean, they definitely didn't reach for the stars for this. They made it. They grounded it in reality, and it's a good thing because they missed the stars completely. But
well, that's what we think. So why don't we get into seeing what the audience thinks? The first 5-star review comes from Lori R. Great acting and good story. Getting sober, lots of laughs along the way, though a serious subject at heart.
Yes, Laura, that's what me and Nate just said. So, okay, Unknown, a very okay movie. It's a very okay. It's just not basic okay. It's a very okay, with some likable characters. Not great by any means, but a decent story of recovery and the human spirit. Makes a good case for people helping one another.
CD says this is a comedy, but Johnny Knoxville takes a more serious role in this. It's based off of addiction, trying to get sober, all while battling through family issues, job issues, and the obvious softball. Great cast: Bobby Lee, Theo Vaughn, Chelsea Lynn, amongst others. Fantastic crew, really.
Unknown. Is this the best script ever? No. But is it well directed and the cast is great?
Frank S. with the last 5-star review. Great movie with a great message. If you or a loved one are in recovery, this is a must see.
No, it is not. If you've already recovered, it might be. But if you're in recovery, watching a movie like this will not be good for you. You will probably relapse.
Think so?
I think so. It made me want to drink.
I was baked the whole time. It felt kind of weird, but it got me to cry. So
Jason L. And the L stands for loser. This movie was terrible. If Theo Vaughn is one of the better actors in the film, you have a problem. I'm guessing it got favorable reviews because it checked all the DEI boxes. Oh, God. You know what? It may have checked all the DEI boxes, that's fine. But it wasn't overly saturated, like pushing it over your face. Like the one guy who was kind of feminine, might have been transgender. What?
DEI?
Diversity, inclusiveness, and the exclusiveness or whatever.
Thanks.
lesbians, whites, blacks.
Right,
So yeah, they
right.
had all the different races, and they had the one guy with the ponytails who I think might have been the one who played in the soccer movie that we watched. Might be the same person.
No, I think it was an actress that played the transgender in that.
I think you might be right, but this guy, so he was, I think it was a transgender dude, but it wasn't like transgender pride, like he was just living life. I hate it when people are like so DEI focused that's all they see, and it's like.
The WTF review is an unknown 5-star, came out on April 14th, 2024. So happy that this movie just came out because it was super easy to find it, but it is much funnier than Civil War.
Do they mean like the Avengers Civil War or like the new movie Civil War?
I think
or
the new movie Civil War.
Or do they mean the actual Civil War the United States had? The point is, yes, it's funnier than all those.
It's true. I would definitely, yeah. Now let's get into what Rotten Tomatoes and the audience scored this. Rotten Tomatoes gave this a 64%, while the audience gave it a 74%.
I think that's extremely high for everything. No. Sorry, friend, I can't do it.
All right, well, let me go ahead and give my ranking of this movie. Loved it. Definitely would. I'm going to answer this question right first before I give it. I would recommend this movie to my surgeon. Absolutely. I gave this movie 3 trees and a stump.
I respect your opinion. It's hard to say after that. But after Goon,
oh, after I watched it right away, this was a 5-tree movie. I am so glad I let it percolate a little bit. It came down to 3 and a stump.
I watched this movie, and would I recommend it to nobody? I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I would recommend it to a Knoxville fan, somebody like Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. I thought it was too fast. I think it was just too much of nothing. It was too long, and the acting was okay. So I'm not going to beat it over the head and say it's the worst movie ever. I'm not going to give it 1 stump. I will give it a tree and a stump.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of Trees in Space. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and share it with your friends. Go ahead and give it a like, a comment, a heart, or whatever. Find us on TikTok. There should be a little pink somewhere. And we'll see you on Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern, on YouTube.
What?